Hey everybody, I haven't made a YouTube video in a hot minute. Figured I should now because I just got done doing this sweet project. I have an M&P full size here, and I recently bought an inside the waistband holster for it, and I'm upgrading from my normal Nate Square tactical. I don't know if it's an upgrade, I'm just changing because I got such a zombie deal on this from Outbags on eBay. Great company. Really great holster for $27. And they also make outside the waistband pancake leather holsters for $32 right now, so highly recommend. I like the overall quality of this is pretty good. The leather is treated pretty well, kind of like it reminds me of my Kirkpatrick leather holster. So if you're familiar with that brand, they're one of the higher end ones. I used to have a 1911, and the leather feels very similar to that, both inside and out on the finish and on the inside, and it's just kind of got that treated, squeaky, stiff, old school leather kind of vibe to it. It's pretty thick. It's not the thickest I've ever seen, but it's pretty thick. Not the what do they call it? Small grain or something like that leather. Anyway. I'm not a leather expert enough to do anything about that. But anyway, I recently just got this, right? And I tried to roll for a day carrying inside the waistband, and I got that fucking muffin top. So this thing right here, this little devil, this M&P has a beaver tail that sits on there like that. I'm sure you guys are all familiar, whoever owns the M&P. Well, I decided I cut that shit off. Okay, so I'm making a video just to tell you guys that it's so doable, it's not even funny. I didn't even get a real hacksaw, I just had this handheld hacksaw blade. This is actually in a really nice file holding handle. And you can basically find these all over the place anyway, this style of like keyhole saw. Anyway, I just did a nice little beginning cut. I did it kind of far away from where I wanted my finish line to be, and then I went to work with this book, this textbook right here that I don't need anymore because I'm a college grad, and I put this pad paper on there, and this is nice coarse belt sander, and I just and then I rounded off these edges. As you can see, I got my edge done. So you just basically sit it on a 45 degree, and you go back and forth, and then after you get a nice little established baseline 45, you kind of just start working it back, and then more steep, and then that way you get rid of, and you blend it really nice, basically is what I'm trying to tell you here. So, as you can see, it came out really nice. You can see that where that curved plastic is the back of the slide. So I'm just over the back of the slide. And I realize that you really don't need that beaver tail shit at all. Because if you notice the compact doesn't have it and the shield doesn't have it, it's really just to make this thing look cool when they take a picture of it, that they put that gigantic beaver tail on it. It's really not necessary. My fucking hand is never going to go way up into that shit. So, and when I grip the gun, you know what I mean? Like that is, it never touches that beaver tail anyway. Like the beaver tail is literally if I was doing some crazy old shit, which I don't see myself doing so much. So it had to go because it hurts. It's like a knife in my big fat muffin top in my guts when I carried this thing. I literally did it for like 4 hours, and I said, that's enough, dude. And I take my shirt off, and I had a bruise. And this thing was like, you could see the indent into my skin. I was like, damn, that fucking hurts. So that went away. So anyway, let me pause, and I'll come right back and show you what it looks like. Alright, so this is what it looks like put together. As you can see, the plastic comes out past the slide just the tiniest bit, which is exactly what I wanted. And the angles are pretty nice and true. I can't be mad about it. So this is just such a simple procedure. This is something so simple to do. You can do it yourself. If you don't like that beaver tail, like I am not liking it right now, so it's gone because it really has no real function. I mean, your hand sits so deep up in there. This is a great gun. I love this gun. That's why I wanted to carry it. Start getting a full-size carry. Try that out. I never tried carrying it. I just got these True Dots on here. So, Meprolite True Dots. I love these sights. Fantastic sights. I'm very pleased. My shootability is like up 15 to 20% with this gun, especially at farther distances, because this big, chunky style of sight, I like it. It's really nice. It lets me center the front sight because of the way the back cutout is. I just shoot it better, straight up. I mean, they're bigger, larger, oversized sights compared to the stock ones, and so it's just better. So I took a little bit of that beaver tail. I think it originally would have been sitting out like to here or maybe farther. So that is one part. And then I'm also thinking, because I'm one of these fat guys who's used to Nate Square tactical holsters, that I'm actually kind of contemplating this is like a possible solution, is throwing an oven mitt from the 99-cent store and then like maybe like stapling it to this part of the holster, so that way when it rides in my guts. I am giving this thought, dude, for real. This is tactifunction, not tacticool, that's for sure. I mean, I know I don't get any style points for that shit, but just because the leather kind of doesn't feel as great as a Nate Squared tactical holster does. I'm used to that too. I think that's the biggest problem. I'm used to Nate Squared, and I'm kind of just not ready to deal with any kind of discomfort. I guess I'm a fancy pants. But anyway, so yeah, so you do, just to recap, you saw, don't try to get it too close of a cut with your saw, and then you come in, you hit it with this. It's going to take a few minutes of running it on this for a while. Then you get you some like 200 grit, and you run it on that, and then you get you some 1000 grit, you run it on that, and the plastic will go back to the original color. Because when you get done with this, it's going to look really pale and all grainy and shitty looking. You know how it is when you sand plastic, it just looks different. And even when you come at it with this, it's still going to look kind of white. And then when you start hitting it with this 1000 grit, it'll start going back to the original color of like black or FDE or whatever you got. So, video for all y'all carrying full-size MMPs, you're welcome.